It is not easy during this mortal life to discern true prudence from the false, for often also the good intention and zeal warp the human judgment when counsel and light from on high are wanting. I had occasion to learn this in the execution of that which I am about to undertake. For some persons, well known as devout, not only those who loved me on account of their piety and desired my welfare, but also those who were less loving and considerate, all alike at one time wished to deter me from this undertaking, and also from the path which I was going, as if I was proceeding upon it by my own choice. Their fear of drawing discredit or confusion upon those who were striving after piety with me, or upon religion or my neighbors, and especially upon the convent in which I lived, caused them anxiety, and to me affliction. I was much enamored by the security which the ordinary paths of the other nuns seemed to offer. I acknowledged that this suited more my own insight and my inclination and desires, and was urged upon me still more by my timidity and my great fears. Cast about upon these impetuous waves, my heart sought to reach the port of obedience in order to reassure me in the bitter sea of my confusion. To add to my tribulation, it began to be rumored about in our order that my spiritual father and superior, who had for many years directed my soul, and who well understood my interior trials, who, moreover, had commanded me to write the preceding part of this history, who would most likely encourage, quiet, and console me, was suggested for removal to a higher office. The suggestion was not acted upon, but it occasioned his absence for many days, and the dragon took advantage of all this in order to pour out against me the furious river of his wrath. Thus, though in vain, he exerted all his malice on this occasion and others, to entice me from obedience, and deprive me of the guidance of my superior and master. In addition to all the contradictions and temptations already mentioned, and many others not possible to describe, the demon sought to deprive me of my health, causing many aches, indispositions, and disorders of the whole body. He harassed me with insurmountable sadness and conflicting thoughts. He seemed to confuse my understanding, hinder correct thinking, weaken my willpower, and sift me in body and soul. And it happened that in the midst of this confusion, I committed some faults, which were serious enough in me, although they were committed not so much in malice as from human frailty. Nevertheless, the serpent sought to use them for my destruction more than any other means, for thus having interrupted the flow of good works, his fury was let loose to cause still greater faults in this embarrassment, by inveigling me to exaggerate my guilt. To this he drove me by impious and most insidious suggestions, seeking to persuade me that all that I had experienced in the path which I had trodden was false and erroneous. As these insinuations, on account of the faults committed and on account of my continual consternation and fears, began to appear plausible, I resisted them less than others, and it was only through the special mercies of the Lord that I did not fall entirely from all belief and hope in a remedy. But I found myself so entangled in difficulties and surrounded by darkness that I may say the groanings of death encompassed me, and the sorrows of hell engulfed me, inspiring me with dread of extreme peril. I resolved to burn the manuscripts of the first part of this divine history, and to desist from writing the second. The angel of Satan, who inspired me with this resolution, induced me also to withdraw myself from the whole undertaking, to put an end to the pursuit of the spiritual life, to neglect my interior life, and not to communicate about it with anyone. Thus would I be able to do penance for my sins, appease the Lord, propitiate him, and retain his friendship. In order to make sure of the effects of his concealed malice, he proposed that I make a vow not to write any more on account of the danger of being deceived and of deceiving, but that instead I amend my life, retrench my imperfections, and embrace penance.